Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone to another episode, Wolfpack Cigar Club podcast. Man, you already know Wolfpack Cigar Club Alpha Cigar Man Yosli is in the building, and we have a special guest, Mark McClurkan from Cati Cigar Company. Did I pronounce that right?
Man, we'll take it however you want to pronounce it. We've had it pronounced every way in the world, honestly, and we don't care
Okay.
as long as people enjoy the smoke. But it's
hmm
Exactly.
we call it
So what
Katie.
exactly? Oh, Katie.
Katie,
Okay,
Katie.
okay, okay.
Okay, Katie cigars. Yeah, I thought it was Cati cigars too, since my first language is Spanish.
Yeah,
I
that's
always go
yeah,
to like Cati cigars and it's Katie cigars. Mark, so
yeah,
how are
man.
you, man? Everything
And
good on your end?
oh man, everything's fantastic. We just had our first anniversary of our release on the first,
Okay.
so
Nice.
we're
Congratulations.
happy. We're hanging in there. If you can make it through that
No,
first year or two, you're doing pretty good.
exactly,
hmm
exactly. So, first of all, I wanna before we go on, I just wanna say thanks to Mark for sending these cigars to me
Yes.
and Rafi to try it
Appreciate
out
that.
and be able to have an interview with you tonight. I really want to get this out of my chest. I light it up, first puff, first retro, punch.
Yeah, definitely.
And that really hooks me up. I really like a
hmm
cigar that packs a punch on the retro. And to be honest with you, Mark, I know this has a lot of Honduran tobacco. I believe the wrapper is Honduran and the binder is Honduran, right? I've smoked a lot of other brands being done in Honduras, and one thing I never liked was that for me they were very weak. So as soon as I light this cigar up and I felt the strength, I was like, oh, very interesting.
Yeah,
So I know I'm only starting, but so far I'm loving the cigar.
yeah. Same. And just, I'm
Thank you.
echoing everything he said. This is a cigar that usually I actually just smoked a Honduran the other day, a few days ago. Um, and like what he said, I usually just get like that mellow, but
Yeah.
this is lit up and it gave me what I wanted, which is the spiciness. I'm always into that spiciness, but I'm gonna let you take it off, Mark, man. Introduce your cigar, man, and let us know what. Give us a little bit of the history of Katie, and just kind of like where the process is up to date.
You bet. I'm Mark McClurkan, owner of Cati Cigars, and we are about a year old now, just a few days past a year old.
Nice, congrats.
This first blend is the PR 49,
Okay,
and PR 49 is Philip Ray 1949. We named
okay.
this one after my dad.
Oh, nice.
You'll notice the pump jack there on the side of the band.
Yeah.
He was born in Burke Burnett. The only thing in Burke Burnett is oil.
Okay,
It was a boom town back in the day,
there you go.
and so he ended up with a pump jack on his band.
Okay,
Um, the name Katie is actually, you could call it Caddy or Cati or whatever you want to call it, but it's short for come and take it.
mm,
Oh, okay.
And that's because our family fought the Texas Revolution.
okay.
And so it's just, yeah, just a little nod to our family.
Yeah.
And you notice on the logo, you've got 6 stars that are the 6 nations that
Mhm.
ruled over Texas,
Okay.
and the Lone Star in the center. So that's where our name and logo comes from.
Beautiful.
Going forward, we're going to keep everything pretty much about family.
Okay.
The next blend is the BB52. That's Brenda Brown, 1952, for my mom. Her band is actually going to have the club they used to dance at
Wow.
as
Okay.
the foil element on it. So
Nice.
we're kind of having fun with the branding,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to it, you don't want to tick your mom off. And since you're naming cigars
Yeah.
after your dad, after her, it'd
Yes.
be good.
It definitely has to be.
So we're working really
Yeah.
hard. Yeah, we're working really hard to make sure the quality's there and everything.
Okay.
I am not a master anything. I'm not going to pretend to be.
Okay.
So I'm not going to say I'm a master blender, but I am doing the blending. Um,
Cool.
Okay.
Obviously new to the industry, so I do get some guidance from the blender at our factory, and we're coming out of
Of course.
FCT in
Okay.
Honduras. So that's
Well, let
Cavalier's
me tell you
factory if you're not
something.
familiar with them.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but for it being your first blend and like thing, I'll tell you, you guys did a really good job with it.
It,
Because I speaking to just people in the industry over the years and all of that, it's like people say that the hardest part to make a cigar is the blend. So for you guys to kind of like introduce your first cigar with this blend, hey, hats off to you. So you guys are off to a good start.
cigar is good, man. I love the band, the design that it has because it's not one of those like I don't want to say it's a simple band. It has simplicity in it, but it looks so elegant. You know,
Yeah,
to
it's
me,
elegant. Yeah, definitely.
it looks nice. You know what a cigar band should be. You know, nowadays you get all these crazy stuff on cigar bands, which I mean, whatever everybody wants to do with the brands, I respect it. But cigars has always been something about class, elegancy, and stuff like that. So I always admire when I see a band that has a star, stars and little details that, like you said, you explain what the star means and the I don't know how to say that in English. The little thing here, everything, the
Yeah.
colors, the white and the gold and the red. I want to keep talking about the cigar, man. The cigar is burning perfectly. Um, I'm not gonna get into uh, notes of pepper and sugar and all of that. The cigar is amazing. It's really, really, really
Yeah.
good, man. Really like this blend. Really like the cigar. This is the first one that I tried from the three that you sent us. I still gotta try it in the smaller Vitola
Yeah.
and the one that you said that you made a special Vitola on it. Now I'm interested in seeing if there's a difference in because even though it might be the same blend, you know that the Vitolas they make the cigar smoke different. So, so far so good.
Absolutely.
Really, really like this cigar,
Yeah,
man. I really
these are actually going to be a little bit different experience depending on the
Okay.
Vitola. Um, that Canon Vitola that we have, that one really is special. I mean, it's you can
Okay.
think of it kind of like a reverse Solomon.
okay.
All right. All
So
right.
the cap is a 58 and the foot is a 48, but it
Oh,
smokes more
okay.
like a 52.
Okay.
Okay,
It's got a
nice.
good
So it
rounded
smokes like
head to it,
todo.
so it'll smoke more like a 52. It's not going to be uncomfortable in your mouth. Um, but what's cool about it is because you're keeping that ember smaller than the cap of the cigar, and because that smoke is coming back and coming in contact with more tobacco at the back of the cigar, it actually cools the smoke, so you get a little more flavor, and
Exactly.
it won't
Doesn't
get hot all the way to a nub. But you've also got, because it's getting wider, we backloaded it. So as your palate gets tired while you smoke, it's going to get stronger. It's going to get a little more intense. Going to give you a little bit more punch as you get into that back end
nice.
to offset your palate getting tired.
Hmm.
Nice.
Okay. So, Mark,
Mo-
what made you want to get into the cigar industry?
I've wanted to do it for a long time, and I've probably smoked cigars better than 25 years. I mean, it's been quite a while, and I've always enjoyed them. I've had a lot that are just terrible, a lot that are excellent. And as I started really learning about cigars and the process involved, that's when I got
Yeah.
very, very
Okay.
interested in it. And, a couple of years ago, our industry got hit pretty hard and I got laid off.
Oh,
And I'd been talking about this for 4 or 5 years. And when I got laid off, my wife basically said, "Well, let's put up or shut up."
Yeah. There you go.
And of
There you
course,
go.
2 months after
Mark,
we filed our, yeah, go ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask the
2 months
question
after we
anyway.
filed our articles of incorporation, COVID hit. So it shut
Wow.
down all the
So,
factories and
sheesh.
everything.
Oh
So
man.
we had 2 years completely inactive, but we
God,
finally got everything going to release this in June of last year.
Okay. There
but
you
it
go.
happened to a lot of brands that they were coming in
Oh yeah.
right before COVID, and all those brands they got hit with the COVID and everything that
Mm-hmm.
happened at the time and shit like that. So a lot of brands, not only you, a lot of brands were affected. New brands that trying to make their way to uh, uh, the market. Um, Mark, no, I wanted to ask you if you can give us a little bit of the details, if possible, about the blend. Like what kind of wrapper it has, what kind of binder it has, what kind of failures people can expect on the cigar.
Absolutely. We've got a Hamastron Habano wrapper. Our binder is a
Okay.
Connecticut out of Honduras.
Oh wow.
The fillers are Estela and a Honduran broadleaf.
Oh okay.
That's where you get the punch, the
Mm-hmm.
Esteli,
Yep.
the
That's exactly where it is.
pepper,
That's
and
it.
all that.
There it is.
Yeah,
I listen, I didn't want to say anything, but I knew it had to have something Nicaraguan in there to give you that little kick to because to do
okay,
it with a Honduran is very it's different.
yeah.
But I knew it was in there somewhere. But dude, is amazing. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had to interrupt you, sorry.
No, you're great. That's the benefit of having a good factory with access to
Hmm.
outstanding tobacco.
Yes. Yep.
Exactly. That is so
Mm-hmm.
important, man. A lot of people they don't realize. A lot of people want to make cigars and make their brands and all that, but like I've seen, I've spoken to other boutique brands that they haven't had success, and they're like, I don't know what's going on. Like I do promotions and I do this and I do that and I do this, and I'm like, it might not be you the problem. It might be your product. That as long as you have a good partner in either Nicaragua, Honduras, or Dominican Republic, wherever the country is, if you really can depend on a good factory and they have access to good, premium tobacco, and they can make a good blend, the cigar is gonna sell because once people smoke it, they're gonna realize that you have a good product, and they're gonna want to come back you know, for more. So, anybody that is gonna be watching this podcast later on, I keep stressing it. If you haven't had Cati cigars, please, by all means, uh, contact Mark through Instagram. He will let you know where you can find these. Wolfpack Cigar Club, we're going to bring this brand to our online store, so we're going to be carrying this cigar as well. I already spoke to Mark, and then, we're going to finalize, to make it happen, to have it available in the store and offer it to our members. But in the meantime, I keep stressing it. Please get your hands on some of these. You're not gonna regret it. Really good smoke. Look the way it's burning. I haven't I haven't touched it or anything. It's just sharp. Really like this cigar. Really good job.
Thank you. I appreciate that, man. And it's honestly, it's hard to even get into a lot of shops. I mean,
I, I know.
we're doing well for first year, but
Yeah.
anytime you're new, everyone is
Yeah.
hesitant to bring you in.
Oh.
And I get it. So, and another problem that we have is I still work a day job. So we're just trying to take it slow, get out where we
Mm-hmm.
can,
Mm-hmm.
do the sales that we
Mm-hmm.
can. And, if I wanted to ramp up really fast and do all kinds of things, we could probably do that. But then I would end up having to put some of my existing accounts probably into a
Yes.
back order status.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I've got people that are loyal to us. They came
Yep.
in early. They were willing to smoke our cigar and give us a
Mm-hmm.
shot in their shops. So we put those guys first. And so we are expanding slowly,
Mm-hmm.
but
Slowly
it
but
also
surely.
gives me a little bit of a chance to,
Yeah, of course.
yeah, I can keep my feet under me that
I
way.
always
Yeah.
tell people you gotta take, some people they just want to be the next Fuente, and people don't understand that these brands, these big brands, their generation, there's third generation,
Oh, yeah.
fourth, second generation. This is
Takes
not something
time. It
that
takes
happened.
time.
Yeah, this is not something that happened from today to next month. Oh, I'm gonna be the next, you know. So I mean, I understand you got dreams and ambition, and that's good, but you gotta also be realistic, So
Yeah.
if you're doing it slow but sure, but slowly but surely, I admire that, and I would recommend to keep doing it the same ways. I'll speak to for myself, Mark. I opened the store, the online store. Next month it's gonna be the first year that we had the store open. I've been taking it easy. I mean, I could easily have 50 brands on the store, but I'm not gonna do that because I also have a day job. I also got other things in my life happening, so I don't depend on this on selling cigars. But like you said, one step at a time, man. But be sure of that step that you're gonna take
Yeah.
forward. You know what I mean? Not just crazy.
Oh, absolutely. One thing we were absolutely strict on is making sure that we did it right the first time.
There you go.
That's why I didn't design my own bands.
Okay.
That's why I don't do my own marketing,
Mm-hmm.
because that's not where I have talent.
Yep.
And so I would rather do it right and bring someone in to help me that's got industry experience, that
Mm-hmm.
understands what a
Yep.
classic cigar band should look like,
Yes.
that understands when I put something on a shelf, is it going to stand out?
Yep.
Or is it going to get lost in all the other brown boxes and brown cigars?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Absolutely right.
And that's a smart move. That's a
Yeah. I mean, and Mark,
And it's it's the same with the blend, man.
and I've done it in the past. When I go into a lounge, I'm not gonna lie. One of the things that I look for, whenever I go to a lounge like here, where I'm at right now in Ohio, um, I visited already 3 lounges, and the first thing I do is I always try to get something that I've never smoked before, or just something that I haven't smoked in a while. And I'm gonna be honest. One of the first things that I do is I look at the bands, I look at the visuals of it, and you kind of, because they're appealing, Not, and I don't, and I'm not even talking about the legacy ones. I try to stay away from all the legacy brands. But so whenever I look at the boutique brands or like the smaller brands, I look at it and I'm like, how much like energy did they actually put into this smoke? Like
Mhm.
how much love did they actually put in this? Did they just create the band that they just, because it was the cheap way out, and kind of like just produce a mass, amount of cigars just to get it out there? Or are you really taking your time, like you're saying, like leave it to a professional, somebody that maybe has a better understanding of what a band should look like, and do it the right way, like you're saying, man? And I think that when you do that, accompanied by the story that you have with the cigar, is gonna take you a long way. That speaks volume for the cigar, because people want to know a story. This is one of the things that me and Yosli, when we created this channel, we wanted to focus on boutique brands, small brands, because we want to we want to hear those stories. That's what we love. We want to smoke your story, and this is why I'm loving. By the way, this is a very good smoke, so
It
it
is. It is.
it, it actually helps when the cigar is good.
Yeah.
But I love the story, love the cigar. I'm a little bit of halfway. There's a lot of wind over here, so it's kind of like throwing the smoke a little bit, but that's why I'm trying to keep the cigar low so that the wind doesn't hit it. But um, but I love it so far, man. It's giving me everything that I love in a cigar.
Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. And we're actually working on a few new things. I'm hoping to have samples here next week for a short smoke.
Okay. Oh, all right. There you go.
So it's actually going to be the cannon shape, but it's 3 inches,
Oh
Wow.
wow.
All right, that's
and it's
interesting.
going to go from it'll go from a 38 to a 32.
Oh,
Wow.
So
nice.
it's going to be
Okay.
a true short smoke. And
Wow.
Yeah.
that one we're looking at is the wrapper we're using right now is a San Andreas Maduro.
Mm,
Okay.
We
okay.
just have to work through those samples, make sure we figure out where we need to make tweaks, where we need to
Yes.
adjust on strength. Because we've learned one thing very quickly. Blends like the one that we have in this PR49, they don't go into that short smoke. You can't translate down to that small a size. You just can't. Well, I mean, you can. We did it, and it hurt like the devil. It was.
Ugh.
I did a
Okay.
retro hail on the first draw, not thinking about it, and it was like
Oh,
somebody pepper sprayed me. It was pretty rough. So,
All right.
so there, there's a little bit of a learning curve on all of it. Some things will
Yeah.
translate, some things won't,
Okay.
and so
it's
we.
a learning process. It's a learning process, like you said.
But yeah,
Oh,
just going kind of like back to what I was saying is like, Mark, I mean, not everybody visits. Like you actually went to Honduras to do the blend and all of that, to work on it. That's where I was referring to, that you're part of it. Like that's your story. You're
exactly.
part of the blend. You're going to visit these factories where, where Yosli was saying that some people just go to these big whatever they are, factories or whatever. It's like, whatever you have, 1,000 of them, give me them and I'll put a band on it.
Yeah.
They never even tried it. So it's like then they give it to other people so that they could try it. And what do you think somebody's gonna say when they get free cigars? Oh yeah, it's good. Yeah, 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 it's good. Just throw it out in the market. It's good. No, man, take your time, work on it, and do what guys like, like what like what yourself are doing. Like, be part of the process and see what goes in it. That way, when somebody critiques it the right way, you know what to change on it. We know one person that he's already gone to 3 different blenders because he's buying a lot of these cigars, and he's kind of like, it's like, dude, this is money, man, and for you to just give these things away, it's not again, we're not even looking at the profits or the money. You just want to smoke a good cigar at the end of the day, you know what I mean? So again, hats off to you for being your first cigar. I mean, and to be actually a part of the process, man, it is hats off, man. I can't keep commending you. I'm doing you kind of like, I'm doing I just wish everybody could get their hands on this, and please
Yeah,
reach out to Mark, man.
and not only that, like,
Honestly,
um, no, no, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
we're really strict on our quality. So we not only make sure that they draw test and that they get their 2 months post roll aging.
Hmm.
When they get to the U.S., we don't just let them rest and start sending them to stores.
Yep.
It doesn't work like that for us. I've got my distribution center is small because we're just a small company,
Hmm.
but every shelf is Spanish cedar
Okay.
and every shelf is sanded every 6 months
Okay.
so that we can keep that aroma in the room.
Hmm.
Exactly.
But when we get cigars, what we do is they come in, and as soon as they get here, we let them rest for 2 more months. So that's
Okay.
4 months post roll.
Okay.
And at 2 months, we start smoking one of each vitola every week.
Okay.
And that shipment doesn't go to stores until we say it's ready.
There you go.
So if at 2 months and I smoke it and it's great, but we'll take our first run. We wanted those flavors to marry really well. And it was 6 months before we hit shelves with them because we wanted that flavor to be right where we expected it to be.
There you go. There you go.
And
That's another reason we're growing so slow.
Yeah.
It can take me 9 months from the time I place an order until I decide it's ready to go.
Yes.
but you're growing slow, but the right way, man. Because you're
Yep.
already creating a reputation for quality,
Hmm.
which is very hard because, like I was saying, I'm not gonna mention brand names here, but we smoked some big brand names that the quality on the cigars is horrible. Tunnels everywhere, canoeing, no draw, really tight, and you're like, what the hell is this? I have to light up the cigar like 10 times. By the time you're ready to light
Mhm.
up a cigar for the 10th time, you're not smoking a cigar. You're already smoking something that is burned already, so the flavors are harsh and everything. So you're growing slowly, but the right way, creating a good reputation for quality. Like at the end of the day, people pay money for this. This is not like it's not a cheap hobby. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
that's the way I see. If I'm gonna
Yep.
spend 10, $15 on a stick, I expect for the
Wow.
cigar to give me a good experience. You know what I'm
Definitely.
saying? Because it's a time where I sit down, relax. I want to reflect, or I want to have a good time. I want to talk to Rafi, and we just want to interact while smoking a cigar. So we expect to have a good experience with a cigar because we're gonna be talking about the cigar throughout the conversation. So when you have a bad quality stick, and again, a lot of people will say, "Oh, but these are made by hand." I get it. Obviously, it doesn't matter what quality control you have. There might be one cigar that just went in and it was tight rolled. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? It happens. You know what I'm saying? But when you see the consistency in bad quality, that tells you something. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yep.
You're going to get a bad stick every now and then in every brand. You can't
Mm-hmm.
help it.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
if you're taking the right precautions and you're working with the right factory, they're going to do the job for
Exactly.
you. You can,
Exactly.
sure, you may have a new roller that makes one that's plugged. You can
Exactly.
work with the occasional stick plugged, but being a new company, that's why we chose the factory we did, is because we needed somebody that we knew would do it the way we needed it done.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's the way.
That's the way it should be. That's what I'm saying. Like success, at the end of the day, you want to have success. I get it. There's a million brands out there nowadays. Everybody wants to make a cigar brand, and it's more difficult every year that comes in because every year is 300 brands that want to make it into the market, and the next year
Yeah.
there's 300 more that want to
Yep.
make it into the market. And there's so many cigar brands nowadays that it's a lot of competition. It's difficult. Shelf space, like you said, it's really hard to get into a new store because they gotta make the space and whatnot, and it's tough. But once people start trying your cigar, and like you said, it has a good quality, you're taking the proper precautions and everything, people are gonna start appreciating and be like, oh damn, like this is a really good stick. You know
Dude,
what I
the
mean?
retro on
Yeah,
this
the
is
shops we've
crazy. It's still hitting me, man.
Mm-hmm.
The retro this cigar has not mellowed out at all for me. So I don't know about your sleep, but I'm
It's a
already,
medium plus to me on the
dude. To
retro.
me, it's still hitting. So
Yeah, no, it's still
this is,
hitting. Still hitting.
it's not like you guys just put the good stuff in the front just to tease
It's
us.
all
But
over the
this,
place.
yeah, dude, it's nice. So Mark, a quick question for you. Like, what I know you're based down in Texas or whatever, but what do you guys have planned? Events? Do you have anything going on in Texas? If you want to invite people over there, or are you coming to the East Coast? Anywhere? Like, what's going on?
Right now, we've got mostly podcasts and fairly local cutting lights. We just did a cutting light down in
Okay,
San Antonio last week,
okay,
and we've got one in
cool.
Burleson Friday evening.
Okay, okay,
So Burleson, Texas, that's just south of Fort Worth,
okay,
and that's going to be at Wild Cigars.
okay. Definitely. Yeah, man.
Are you gonna be in the cigar fest in
So
Jacksonville, Florida? No.
no, I didn't get into Jacksonville this year. Um,
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to. It's one of those things that
Yeah.
we've just got so
Yeah.
much going on with new
Yeah.
Yeah.
blends and everything else. It's just going to be a little too tight for this year. But
Yeah.
we
I
are
get it.
Yeah.
looking at doing Smoke Fest in Dallas,
Okay.
Okay.
When is
That
that
sounds
happening?
good.
and
November?
that one's November.
November, right? Yeah. Um, so Mark,
Yeah, I think it's
when
November.
do you?
Starts November 5th,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, November. Yeah. When do you? I know you mentioned that you were still working on the blends for the new on the blend for the new cigar, but do you have like a projection? When do you see it coming out next year?
The goal would be next year, but it's one of those things where if it's not right, I'm not releasing.
Oh,
So
definitely.
I would rather it take longer to get out and do it right
Okay.
than try to rush something else to market. And it was
Yes,
tough
of
for us to
course.
release this single blend up front because it's hard to get into shops with one blend.
No, I know.
Yes.
But knowing how long it took to get the blend right and get the aging right and everything else, we felt like, well, let's just go to market and we'll work through it slow. We'll get our reputation out
Okay.
there and
Hmm.
we'll grow organically. And so we've
Yes.
got
Exactly. Okay.
now the short smoke, and we're going to be working on that BB52. So
Okay.
we're getting there. It's just
Okay.
we try to let the tobacco that we have access to and the blend dictate both the size and the timeline. Like we've got three different
Okay.
sizes of cannon molds that we had made.
Okay.
And so this next one, we don't know if it's going to be the same sizes or if we're going to end
Yeah.
up with Lonsdale or that we've got a little middle sized
Okay.
cannon that's actually between a Robusto and a Petite Corona.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
So we're
Um.
kind of hoping that Connecticut will fall into that range, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Um. The This is another question. I know you're working on this second blend, but do you have plans in the future? Since you have the Habano, now you're gonna work on the Connecticut. Do you have plans in the future to have the Maduro?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, we just want to find that right blend. We wanted to
Hmm.
do the Connecticut for our next full blend. Of course, the short smoke is going to
Yeah.
be a San Andres Maduro. It's just a matter of, okay, let's get this stuff out right and get as
Yeah,
quick as we can.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Definitely.
yeah. No, listen. Again, I keep stressing it. Um, I have to remove the ban already. I like everything about the cigar, from the presentation, the band that it has, the blend that it has, how it burns, the flavors, the strength, especially the strength. I like the strength that the cigar offers. To me, it's a medium plus. For some people that been smoking for less time, it might be a full body smoke on the
Yeah.
retro.
It definitely will. Definitely will.
It's a strong cigar.
Yeah.
Don't be like, oh, it's
Yes.
kind of a blonde cigar, a light color cigar, and has a white band. It's probably mild. No, it's not gonna be mild.
Nah.
It's gonna
Yeah.
give you a punch right from the
Yeah.
get go.
I definitely agree with you. I'm a Habano smoker, so for me, this is a little bit probably stronger than what Yosley's accustomed to. But just anybody out there like looking at this, it definitely has a kick to it. So if you really are a Habano smoker, be prepared to just get that little extra kick that maybe you're not accustomed to. But it just kind of like warning people out there because again, I'm smoking this. I'm almost to the third. I am up to the third, and it's still giving me that same, just the same characteristics that it did from the beginning. Um, so it definitely has a kick from start to finish. So just be mindful of that, but definitely, recommend it.
I see. I noticed.
And the good thing about this one is we
No, go
we
ahead,
did
Mark.
kind of shoot for medium on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did shoot for medium on this one. So what we're really wanted to do was hit as broad an audience as we could.
Yes.
So we didn't want to go too mild, didn't want to get something that would kick people in the teeth. So even for an occasional cigar smoker,
Hmm.
this would work.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. Of course.
Agree 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Like it has a good amount of strength, and for me, it has a transition not on the strength, but on the flavors. Now I'm on the last third now, and again, we're not one. Me and Rafi, we're not one of those that we're gonna give you molasses and caramel and all these crazy notes. For us, every time we do a review on a cigar, it's either the cigar is good, price point, strength, flavors, and stuff like that. We focus ourselves on that. We don't we
Yeah.
don't we don't go into notes. So a lot of you guys, if you see the podcast, you're not gonna get here notes. We're not gonna get into notes. All I'm saying is this is a banger. It's a really good stick. It's right on my alley, to be honest with you. So I wonder what you're gonna do with a Maduro when you come up with a Maduro. I would love to see at that point
I might have
how
to
it's
stay
going
away from
Maduro.
that one, man.
Yeah,
I'll keep it like for on my shelf, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to be prepared for that one.
yeah.
When we do a
Mm,
Maduro, we're going to want that true Maduro flavor out of it. We're not going to want one
yes,
that's going to hit you so strong that by the
Yeah,
end of it, you feel like you're going to black out.
yeah.
We want something that everybody can enjoy. So we're still going to,
All right.
as we work through that, even with these short smokes, it's a true Maduro.
Mm-hmm.
And we want that flavor to be there that anyone can enjoy. It doesn't matter if they've been
Yes.
smoking
yes,
20 years. It doesn't matter if this
Mm-hmm.
is a weekend away with the guys and you never smoke cigars. You're going to be able to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
and that's good. You have a you have a vision on exactly what you want, and not only what you want, but what you want for your customers. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that smoke the cigars. So you're taking the steps, always thinking
Yeah.
ahead on the customers, and that's a really good vision to have. Which again, we stress it a lot. Like I wish that some of these big
Mm-hmm.
brands would think the same way. Unfortunately, it's not. But again, Mark, the growth is slow, but you will get there, man. You will get there as long as you keep the quality. Consistency is so important. A lot of people don't understand that consistency on a cigar. I smoked it today and probably smoke it in 3 months, and I'll get the same experience and be like, shit. This is the
Yeah.
same cigar that I smoked 3 months ago. Me and Rafa, we smoked cigars that were like, the hell? I mean, like, this is not what it used to be,
Mm-hmm.
or this is not the same
Yeah.
thing. You know what I'm saying? And then you lose the interest, and then you don't want to buy it again. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
consistency is key, quality is key,
Yeah.
and customer oriented on the projects and how you want the blends to come out, and situate everybody like you said, not only a 20-year smoker, a 1 week smoker, a 3 month smoker, whatever it is. you know um I think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Agree.
Yeah, our whole goal is to just make a beautiful cigar.
Yeah.
I can blend to my palate. I mean
Exactly,
that's fine. I could blend to my palate. Some people would enjoy it,
exactly,
others
exactly,
wouldn't.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have every intention of just creating a beautiful cigar.
Yeah.
If it's one that I would smoke every day, great. If it's one that
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't smoke every day, that's fine too. I
Yeah.
don't
Exactly,
care
exactly,
as long as it's a beautiful product and people can enjoy it.
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I
That's
agree, I
awesome.
agree, I agree.
Yeah, man.
um Nah, bro, I mean, I'm smoking slow, taking it
Yeah,
easy.
but
I know you're
but
already almost done.
yeah, man. I'm telling you, this cigar it kicked me up a little bit because I'm not used to it, but because I'm telling you, man, I don't want to keep reiterating it, but it's a little stronger than what I'm used to, but it's a beautiful smoke. It's definitely a beautiful smoke. Again, I don't want to keep over, like I don't want to keep hyping it. I just want people to try it, and if that's what it takes, hey, listen, you got to try it. But Mark, I mean, just kind of like give us the, I guess, closing words, man. Let us know, like, let the people know where they could find these cigars. If they don't want, I mean, I know Yoseli's gonna carry them in his store, but if they want to try them like right now, let them know where they could go and just kind of like close it out, man, and just let them know.
You bet. If you're looking for them right now, our online dealer that we have that does our dealer we have that does online sales is Industrial Cigars out of
Okay.
Frisco, Texas. So industrialcigars.co, and they can order those online there.
Yeah.
They have all three Vitolas in stock.
Okay.
We'll make sure
Yeah, definitely.
to put that information on the.
Yeah, let me, Mark, just shoot me a message or send it to Yoseli so that they could, if anybody's interested in purchasing them now. If not, they could just wait till, I would prefer everybody wait till Yoseli gets them. That way they could kind of like, support the store. But definitely, if anybody wants to get their hands, we'll put a link on it so that they could get it. And I'm definitely looking forward to smoking the other one that I have, and I want to get you back on this the podcast when you release that next one so that we could
Oh
kind of
yeah.
like keep moving this in the right direction. We love your story. We love everything about what Katie is coming out with, and we definitely look forward to seeing what else you have for us.
Well, I appreciate that, man. We're trying to do it right so we can do it for the long haul. And
Yes.
so
Uh,
we're going to just keep it customer focused. We're going to
yeah.
keep it quality focused and take our time to do it
No,
right.
I'm
Yes,
telling you,
sir.
man. If you do, if you do one thing with a passion, like obviously any business that we get into, we gotta make money, right? But if you do it with passion,
Hmm.
and you transmit that passion to the customers and friends and whatever it is, people catch on to that. You know what I mean? Like that's why I think it's so important. Like Rafi was saying that you made the trip to Honduras, you went to the factory, because
Yeah.
if a customer approaches you and he asks you, tell me about the cigar, tell me about the blend. You have the story to explain. I went to the factory, I went to Honduras, we sat there for a week and we smoked like 40 different tobaccos and we did this and then we did that. And a lot of people, they enjoy listening to that. It's not like, oh man, I don't know, I've never been to the factory and I don't even know what's in the blend. You know what I mean? Like, how can you sell cigars like that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's difficult. You're trying to
I
sell a
just,
product, you don't even know what kind of product you have. And I've seen it. I'm
yeah,
like,
we just couldn't do it that
Hmm.
way.
dude,
I
yeah,
couldn't do that. That's just not who I am. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm not
right.
going to just go
Mhm.
grab something and resell it. That's not the way you make a good cigar. I mean, can you get a good cigar that way? Of course you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
But
of course.
we wanted it to be ours.
Hmm.
And
Yep.
not only that, Mark, like, if you're a cigar brand, when you hear somebody smoking your cigar and that person comes to you and they like, you know, you have a great cigar, I love your cigar, and this and that, you take pride on that, like you're like, damn it,
Definitely do.
all the efforts and all the time that I've been putting into this shit is like really paying off. And for me, that's the best, um, not gift, but the best, you know, thing that I could receive from somebody that I'm doing my efforts. I'm trying to do this, and people see what I'm doing and they appreciate what I'm doing. That's priceless. It doesn't have a price tag.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Absolutely. And, I've several times I've gone to shops that are carrying our cigars and I'll just sit there and smoke. I don't, I'm not pushing the cigars, not talking
Yeah.
about them or anything. Just listen to what people say about the cigars
Hmm.
while we're in there.
Yep.
And
Hmm.
Right. Um, I'm gonna reach out. I'll tell you then off camera about an idea that I had. But anyways, guys, please follow Mark. It's Cati Cigars. How they can find you on Instagram, Mark? I know I follow you, but I forgot the.
It's
How can they find you on Instagram?
at Cati Cigars on Instagram. Yep,
Exactly,
hit
Cati
us up
Cigars on
at Cati
Instagram.
Cigars,
Yeah,
or you can go to caticigarsco.com.
Okay, there
exactly.
you go.
So anybody watching the podcast, I want to give a big shout out. I almost forgot. I was telling Mark off camera. I want to give a big shout out to EDS Raider. He's one of our Wolfpack members in
Hmm.
Texas. He's the one that spoke to me about Katie Cigars. He's the one that told me, reach out to Mark. He's a beautiful guy. I spoke with him. The cigars are great. Reach out to him and see if he's down for a podcast. So, Eric, thank you for the recommendation. I'll send you a message shortly. And because he was asking me, when are you guys gonna put out the Katie Cigars podcast? I'm like, no, we're gonna be recording today because I invited him to be here with us, but he had a family thing going on. So I'm glad that he reached out to me about this, and it's a pleasure to meet you, Mark.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your time, for coming in and smoking with us and talking to us about the blends. Hopefully, we can get this cigar at the wolfpackcigarclub.com store soon. I will let everybody know. But again, Mark, pleasure, and I really love your cigar.
Thank you. I appreciate that, guys. I really appreciate your
Hmm.
time as well. And if there's anything we can do for you, just holler.
Yep.
Thank you, Mark.
All right. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, y'all. Y'all have a good one.